This says make stacks of equivalent expressions on screen 6. So before I do anything, what I'm going to do is separate the variables and the numbers. So this is a times a, and here I have all sixes. I'm just going to separate them so it makes it a little bit easier to sort them later. So I'm going to pause the video and do that. Okay, so my variables are over here, and then my numbers are over here. I'm going to start with this guy here, a times a. It's going to be a squared. So stack those together. 1 over a squared is not going to give me the same answer, so not going to worry about that. A to the 0 does not give me a squared. The numbers are literally different, so I'm not going to worry about that. Looking at this one here, this a and this a would cancel out. This a and this a would cancel out. So then I'm left with a times a, or a squared, so that's good. And then this one is this flipped. So instead of 4 a's up top and 2 on the bottom, I have 2 up top and 4 on the bottom. So not the same thing, it can't be equivalent. Now I'm going to pull out this guy here, 1 over a squared. So if I look here, this a and this a would cancel out. This a and this a would cancel out. So I'm left with a 1 up here in the numerator and then a times a in the denominator, which is a squared. These guys are going to match. Okay, now let's look at the sixes. I have 6 to the third power. So I'm just going to pop that in Desmos. It's 216. So go ahead and drag 216 over with that. This is 1 over 216. Different numbers, so can't match. This here, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sixes up top and 3 in the bottom. So 6 minus 3 gives me 3. So my exponent for this is 3. 6 to the third is 216. And it looks like that's it. Now, anything raised to the 0 power we know is 1, so I'm going to drag that on over. And then a times a divided by a times a. I have the exact same thing in the numerator and the denominator, so that equals 1. So if I have 12 and 12 and in the numerator and denominator, it equals 1. If I have 12 times 3 divided by 12 times 3, because it's the exact same thing in the numerator and denominator equals 1. And then this is the last one that makes sense to match together. So this is 1 over 6 to the third power, because these 3 sixes cancel out with these 3 sixes. So I'm left with a 1 in the numerator and 6 to the third in the denominator, which happens to be equal to 1 over 216. This one takes a little bit more thinking, but as long as you're going through the process and seeing what's going where, making sure that you're matching your variables, you'll be fine.